What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Somalian pirates will break into your school and join your class. They're not going to kidnap you or anything, but then you're going to have to sit next to a Somalian man that hasn't showered in 37 days and keeps saying, "I am the captain now," under his breath. Anyways, guys, what's going on? It's your boy Scrub, back again in the new year, 2020, like my vision. I'm seeing crystal clear out here, and I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a good video. This is a subscriber story that somebody sent into my Instagram at Scrubby, so if you have any crazy stories of your own you want to send them into my Instagram, and without further ado, let's get into this kid apparently claiming to be the greatest rapper of all time. So the person who sent me this worked at a summer camp, which I guess, like, isn't the worst job in the world. You kind of just get to hang out and do dumb stuff with a bunch of kids all day and get paid for it, so it could be worse. But to use his own words here, it was a really white summer club. Not that it matters, okay? It doesn't matter, but, you know, like when you walked on the pool deck for this summer club, it looked like a bunch of marshmallows were deciding to lay on the deck and get fried, alright? This person who sent me this is from North Dakota, which just typically isn't, you know, a very rapper-heavy central area. There's not 8 top 10 songs right now being like, "Hey, yo, I represent Southside North Dakota, get some corn and some snow, let's get going." But regardless, this person worked at a, you know, summer camp in North Dakota where most of the kids were named either Graham, Dylan, Chad, or, I don't know, Jake. Let's go with Jake. That's a pretty standard white guy name. I know at least 47 dudes named Jake who really like football and will constantly tell you about why their favorite team is better than yours. So regardless, this person is working at this summer camp, you know, doing their thing, and kids can be interesting to say the least. Sometimes kids are just, for lack of a better word, really dumb. Like, they're not all really dumb, but I think everybody and their mom knows, like, the one kid that eats glue and is just sitting there like, I wanted my computer to go faster, so I ran it over with a car to try to give it car power. Like, everybody knows the one kid that just doesn't, the brain doesn't work right, you know? They don't think things through very well before they do it. They're not very smart. And there was one kid in particular at this summer camp who, for the purpose of this story and on legal purposes, will be named, Jake. We're gonna go with Jake. Yep, we're going with Jake. And Jake was the type of kid who caused trouble. Like, on the first day of this summer camp, right? He decided that he wanted to pierce his lip, you know? He wanted a lip ring, which, I mean, it's not 2006, okay? Maybe you want to cut back a little bit, young man. But also, it's not like summer camps really have piercing shops nearby. Like, I've never heard anyone who owns a piercing shop going, "Oh, I love when it's summertime because all these kids come in and get tons of piercings without parents' permission." Like, there's not really anywhere to get your lip pierced. But this kid, Jake, really wanted to get his lip pierced. Like, really bad. So instead of waiting till he gets home or turning 18, he decided to take a stapler and go into the bathroom and staple his lip. I don't understand what makes you want to do that, but the only reason they found out is because the kid had stapled himself, and if you know how a stapler works, there has to be something behind it. So he had like the stapler in his mouth, the back half of the stapler in his mouth, and had stapled his mouth, and it had gotten like stuck. It didn't go off all the way, so now his skin was being pinched by the stapler. So they walk in, and he's screaming, "Ow, ow," because I'm sure having your mouth stuck in a metal contraption that's supposed to pierce holes in things probably isn't a very comfortable feeling. "Oh, how do I feel about my Tempur-Pedic? It feels a lot like a stapler stuck on my tongue." Like, no one's ever said that before. So whatever, they finally get the stapler out. They're like, "What are you doing?" And he explains to them, "Oh, I really wanted to get my lip pierced." And they're like, "All right, well, staples isn't the best way to pierce your lip, you know what I mean?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. He goes, "Well, how do you pierce stuff?" And I don't know why they told him, but one of the older camp counselors was like, "Well, what they do is they sterilize a needle, like, I don't really know how they pierce stuff, to be honest. I'm just going off the fact that they told him, and that's how I feel like you would do it, so that's how I'm gonna say that you did it." Like, the person who sent me the story didn't say, "And then we explained to him from the Wikipedia, subsection 4, paragraph 5, exactly how to pierce a lip." Like, they didn't do that, but I'm assuming that's how you do it, something like that. And what does this kid who has just had a stapler dangling from his lip decide to do? Does he say, "Hey, wow, I've learned my lesson and will no longer try to pierce myself"? No, he grabs a paperclip, goes back into the bathroom, and is trying to stab the paperclip through his lip because, well, it was the most like a needle, and you guys said that's how they do it. What? Dude, 30 seconds ago, you had a stapler in your mouth and you decided to recommit to the idea. You were like, huh, yeah, that really hurt, but I want to recommit to it, you know? And this doesn't really have a lot to do with like the main story, but I'm telling you this to let you know that when it comes to intellect, when it comes to brains, this kid didn't really have a lot, you know? Like, imagine you're an Xbox controller and your batteries die, so you need to go get new ones, and all you have left is triple A's, and somehow you get rig it to work, but the connection's not very strong. That's just this dude's brain. Like, the batteries just were not working very well. So the next day, the kid comes back and actually has a lip ring. I guess his mom had decided if my son is stupid enough to try twice with a stapler and a paper clip, maybe it's just time I go get it professionally done, because next thing I know, he's gonna be like convincing the dog to run really fast to run a lip piercing into his mouth. Like, maybe I should just take one for the team, go get it done for him, so at least that way I know it was done professionally and he's not gonna get like chlamydia from this thing in his mouth, you know, like at least go get it done professionally. And after that, he's relatively normal, I guess. He's a weird kid. They have troubles with him being rambunctious, but you knew that was coming after he tried to staple his mouth closed. But a couple weeks after the lip ring incident, ladies and gentlemen, he comes in talking about how he's going to be a rapper and how he's really been out on the streets with the gang, learning how to really spit the sick rhymes, and he's telling this to all the counselors. And the counselors are looking at him weird because the neighborhood that they're in, where this, summer camp is based, definitely is not a place where you can go out on the streets with your paperclip lip ring and learn all about the hustle. You are in North Dakota, bro. The only time people hustle is to their cars to drive further away from North Dakota, dude. And that day they were going on a little field trip thing, and one way or another, rapper boy now, who is now telling everyone that he has the freshest bars this side of the Mississippi, has decided to be like, hey, when we're on this field trip, because they're going on a field trip, it gets put in the group with the person who sent me the story, and he's like, yo, the entire time we're on this field trip, bro, I'm gonna be passing bars to you, man. I'm gonna be passing bars to you, bro. You gotta pass bars back, bro. That's just how you gotta do it, bro. And the person who sent me this story is light skinned, so they're kind of like, this kid normally is talking like, hey guys, G. Willikers, welcome to my lip piercing. And all of a sudden, there's the only light skinned person in North Dakota in charge of him at a summer camp. And he's like, hey, bro, I'm gonna pass the bars to you, bro. What's up, bro? And they were going to a trampoline park, the trampoline park of the century. And the entire bus ride, this kid is sitting there telling the guy who sent me the story, hey man, like I'm better than Eminem, bro. I'm the greatest rapper of all time. And, as much as I am an advocate for following your dreams have to be realistic. If you're so dumb that you try to pierce your lip with a stapler, you're not going to be the world's best anything, okay? Set your bars a little bit lower. It's nothing personal, all right? It really isn't. The second you try to staple a lip ring into your mouth and get hurt and then decide, bruh, didn't learn my lesson, gonna go do it again, you're probably just not gonna be the world's best anything, It's nothing personal, it's okay, you'll be alright. But whatever, the entire bus ride, the kid is like freestyling. I'm doing air quotes right now, you can't see me, but they're definitely there around freestyling. He's like, hey, bruh, call me green eggs and ham, because my name is Sam. Just kidding, it is Jake, and I'm chilling by the lake. I'll make it shake, earthquake. And you're like, oh, all right, Jake, when you said you were the world's best freestyler, you lied, okay? That mug that you bought yourself is not a trophy. Chillax. So whatever, he's doing that the entire time, and he starts telling my friend, he's like, yeah, or not my friend, the guy who sent me the story. I guess we are friends now. We laughed about this story a lot. So we're boys now. We're boys. That's just how it is. You have to deal with it, people. So whatever. He's telling the guy who sent me the story about how, he's so excited for the trampoline park and he can't wait to have such a good time and da-da-da-da-da. And it's weird because, like, even though he's the greatest rapper of all time, he doesn't really want to be, like, too famous, It's just too much for him to deal with sometimes. And the kid, who sent me the story is like, And then the kid decides to say something that gets dramatically out of control to an embarrassing amount. He says, hey, I'm writing a song. Do you mind if I sing it to you? And the kid is just trying to be nice, doing his job, and is like, yeah, sure, go for it, no problem. And homeboy here, Eminem, the man who has been bragging about his rapping prowess, says, and I quote this bar. I'm not going to say every word that he said, but trust me, you guys, you can probably pick up where this is coming from. Hey, I'm Jake, and I make 8 figures. The man sitting next to me is my... And he did not say hitter. There was a different word that is very, very offensive to say to people, especially when, you're wearing a lip ring in North Dakota and the person next to you is like the only light-skinned person in the town, you know? Probably just not the greatest word to say. And so obviously everybody within earshot and the kid who sent me the story immediately are like, what did you just say? And he's like, oh yeah, bro, like, yeah. And he says it again, not in a rap. He just says it. He goes, that word. And he goes, why did you say that? You can't say that. Like, you're not allowed to say that, dude. That's offensive. And he goes, oh yeah, well, like all the rappers are allowed to say it. And they're like, no, rappers are not allowed to say that word if they look like you, Jake. No offense, man. And so the kid who sent me the story tries to be cool and says, hey, it's not a big deal. Like, you didn't know. And he goes, oh yeah, well, I knew it was offensive, but I just didn't think that like people would care. And he says, well, man, like you just shouldn't say it in the future. And the kid, no joke, looks at the person who sent me the story and goes, oh, well, I don't have to listen to people like you anyways. And my friend's like, what do you mean like you? And he goes, oh yeah, because you're, and he says the word again, bro. Jake was out here all along. The conniving little turd had decided to like pretend that he didn't really know he wasn't allowed to say the word, only to just drop the bomb of the century. And I know what you're thinking. How do you get back at a kid for doing that? I don't know about you. If I was black or light skinned and a 10-year-old said that to me, I would definitely be fired because that kid would be like going out the window of the bus. But this kid somehow holds it together and gets the better revenge by telling the overall supervisor. Like, I guess they had a manager above them. The kids were in their control, and then there was a manager in charge of the managers. So you guys remember how Jake is hyped for the trampoline park, right? He is ecstatic. Cloud 9. I'm gonna get to go to the trampoline park. I'm gonna get to go to the trampoline park. I'm gonna get to go to the trampoline park. Where after all of this, what the man who sent me the story decides to do, what he decides to do, he lets the kid get hyped. He acts like it's no big deal. Obviously, he's offended, but he's going to get revenge in a different way. So he lets the kid get hyped. He lets them get inside of the trampoline park. He lets this kid get the special socks and the special shoes so he can jump. He does all of this. He lets the kid look at his friends out on the trampoline park, seeing them having all this fun, and then taps the supervisor and goes, oh, by the way, this kid did this earlier, and immediately the kid has to take off his shoes and socks and sit on a bench with the supervisor with no technology and watch everybody else have fun in the trampoline park, which might be the best way to just absolutely crush a kid's spirit. Like, oh, you want to throw that around, huh? You want to play that game? Guess what, little Timmy? You can watch all your friends have fun at the trampoline park. I don't even care because you're sitting on the sidelines alone. And I guess to make it even worse, the guy gets to jump with the kids. Like, he gets to like have fun too. So he's on the trampoline and he kept going over to the kid and being like, hey, you okay, dude? Like, cheer up, it'll be okay. Just to let him know that I'm having all this fun and you don't get to because you're a moron. And yeah, moral of the story is he is not greater than Eminem, and that's how you don't get to have fun at a trampoline park. On that note though, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Today's notification shout out goes to Tom Stodinger 19. I'm really doing the most out here to not mess up names, but you guys' last names just be really difficult to read sometimes. If you want a notification shout out, just turn on notifications, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby. I shout somebody out every day. But yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant if they do, make sure they're hot. If you are a big fan, feel free to go get some no joke, no scam merch. It really does help the channel. I can't even caparoonie on you guys. Have yourselves a beautiful day. As I've said, don't get anyone pregnant if it do, make sure they're hot. I'll see you guys next time with another video. I am out. Peace.